Do you also feel like you are dying every time you start rushing on a ninja? Are you tired of dying in Godlands because you are so fast? Well, then you are not alone at all. Hello guys, it's me Gleff back again, and in this video and potential video series I'm going to go over items or classes that are overrated or underrated in my opinion. If you have any ideas for a class or item you would want me to go over, write that in the comments below. The 4th October 2012, the ninja got released, first on Congregate at first, but later became available to all players on the different platforms. And was the first class to use the katana weapon, but later added class Samurai would use. The unique ability were a shuriken, and the general perk with the ability was the speedy on hold that you would get. The ninja might have been something new back in the day, when one of the only fast mobile classes were Trickster and Rogue. Sure, speed is fine, but I do find that the speed buff just sabotages my ability to dodge fast. I've played some ninjas before, but almost the only time I use my speed buff is rushing to an event god in the realm or sections of a dungeon that are safe. I do not see the speed buff as something helpful on the ninja, but as another distraction that helps me die faster. I can hear everyone in the comments, "Oh my god, then you don't understand ninja." The video is about something that is overrated, and I do believe that the ninja is overrated compared to other classes. Different UT stars is pretty lackluster, but at least the Cargiboshi got a buff at the recent item rebalance update. But let's take a look over the different UTs and look on what is really viable when playing the ninja. Star of Enlightenment. Well, this star feels good on the first hand, but how many times have you actually used it? Usually it just sits in my inventory and gets used every 100th boss fight I do. Sure, it has the most damage out of any star at one shot, but the slow you get on hold is just too much of a drawback for gaining Berserk. And in most groups nowadays you will have a warrior buff buffing everyone. And after the helmet rework update on Month of Madgod 2020, the helmet's buff range was increased, meaning the chance to get Berserk buff was increased. So this star unfortunately gets a no for me, since you will probably get Berserk from another way and you don't get slowed. And it's hard to dodge, for example, at 03 when you have the slow effect. Daybreak Chakra. This star offers actually a solution to one of my biggest problems with the ninja. The star gives armored on self, but has a whopping 40 MP per second when holding spells, while the tiered stars only cost 10 MP per second. So this star uses 4 times as much MP as the tiered ones, and will only give you about 5 seconds of armored, which is not a lot for a full bar of MP. When looking on the jug, for example, it costs only 90 MP for being armored for 4.5 seconds. I know the chakram is a ST and it's not really comparable to the jug, but it's just a comparison on how much MP is actually drained for the armored effect you gain from the chakram. The star is fine, but I think it could be improved a little bit to see some more use in game. The Cargiboshi. Well, this star actually got buffed recently and is a viable star nowadays, which it wasn't before. You get 5 speed and 5 defense on equip and helps you giving you some extra defense, which is the main problem with the ninja, the lack of defense. So this star gets a Gleff approved. Ballistic star. This star is an okay ability since it has the ability to give you healing, and with the centaur shielding you get the DPS stats from the centaur shielding. The inner stars can stun, which is not that helpful since most of the bosses nowadays can't be stunned, which is boring and makes the use for this ability a little bit of a lower usage, I feel. The damage is alright, but I would have liked the inner bullets of the paramedic disc to give another status effect on enemies. Remember, this is an 03 white bag ability. For an already squishy class, you have to get closer to the bosses to get all the discs to hit, so to get the most of your ability. And with you having the Centaur shielding on, you only have 35 defense if you have an HP ring. Now, that is just you booking for a disaster to happen by you dying. Preferably, while using this star and Centaur shielding, you would like to have a defense ring, but then you lack the HP. Most of the situations in Realm, you want more HP than defense, but when you have 35 on a ninja, you are so squishy. Midnight Star. Holy fuck, I don't even want to go over this. As with the Ballistic Star's stunned, the paralyze this star inflicts is not barely usable anymore. More and more of the recent content Deca releases is immune to both paralyze and stun, which is understandable for bosses not to be insta-slaughtered, but I think it's time to rework the paralyze and stun since the use for these abilities is barely noticeable anymore in harder dungeons of the realm. The Midnight Star gets a Gleff's disapproval. Crystalline Kunai. I guess the attack you get from this is nice, but I would prioritize some of the other stars for getting more DPS stats. If you have the Ballistic Star and the Centaur shielding, I feel like that is a better combo than using the Kunai. But if you want to stay safe, you could use the Kunai instead of the Ballistic Star and the Centaur shielding to have a little bit of more base stats with the normal leather armor and a HP ring, for example. I feel like this star was cooler at first, but I do not prioritize having this on my ninja since there are better alternatives. I feel like for the already squishy class the ninja is, most of the stars here do not help it much more. Fine, you have the Enlightenment star which boosts you in Berserk, but for what cost? To be slowed in eternity? Midnight Star, which status effect barely work on anything. The chakram is useful in a handful of situations, but your mana gets deleted after only 5 seconds. Then you have to wait a long time to get the mana back. And katana wise, the only viable ones are really the tier 1 and the enforcer. It's easier to see what's good on the weapon since you can compare the DPS and the range and more. It's more black and white than comparing abilities to each other, since everyone has their own opinion on most abilities, which weapons are more like generally agreed on what is good and what is not. I can understand why people play the ninja. You are fast and you have a massive potential damage to be dealt, but I just find the class itself overrated due to a lot of the items are not that useful compared to what other classes have for useful swap outs. On my ninja, I would only use 1 or 2 stars, and that would be the tier 7 and the Ballistic Star, making the other stars not usable at all. And I think that is pretty boring. Hate me or not, I don't shit on the ninja, I just want to explain why I think this is an overhyped class, because I don't feel like it's that good. Thank you guys for watching the whole video. If you want me to go over items like this in the future, remember to write a comment down below, and be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and bye bye.